I'd like to talk about this area at Calthorpe Community Garden. This bed is what we are referring to as our cottage garden. It acts as a transitional area between the main ornamental part of the garden and the productive food growing area that starts just in the distance beyond it here. This time last year, there was nothing here. It was a continuation of this lawn area. However, we were very lucky last year to be the recipients of a RHS Chelsea show garden that was donated to us after the main show had exhibited. And we received a very large donation of plants all at once, and we were able to create this whole area using those donations, which we've added to since. However, the main staples of this bed were all created from that donation, which we were really, really grateful for. And so we created this as a cottage garden, as a transitional area between the ornamental and the edible area. And cottage gardening historically would refer to a mix of edible and ornamental plants grown together, usually grown close to the cottage in the farm to actually supply food for the family, rather than towards the main crop that the farmer would usually focus on, maybe one or two crops over the main farm, and then grow food closer to the cottage for the actual family, mixing edibles and ornamentals together. We've also created a maintenance path through this area using wood chips, which will break down naturally underfoot and under rain. As they start to decompose, they will be lifted up out of the path, incorporated into the flower bed as a natural mulch, and replace the path with fresh wood chips so that it all becomes a cyclical part of the garden operations. Wood chip itself is a host to a wide variety of wildlife, particularly invertebrates. Certainly hosts a wider variety of wildlife than, say, perennial ryegrass, which we use for our lawns. So as well as our edible plants and our ornamental plants, we've also focused a lot on wild flowers throughout this area. So particularly at this time of the year, because we're in mid-spring, there's lots and lots of seedlings on the ground. And so we have to be very careful not to take too much action at this stage, because lots of these small seedlings are going to be highly sought after and wanted wildflowers, which are going to provide a really rich source of pollen and nectar in this area for wildlife. We also happened to come across a small metal bathtub last year, which we've repurposed into this area as a wildlife pond. We've used large rocks through the middle to create natural shelving to allow wildlife to enter and exit the pond safely. We have lots of... No problem. We have lots of native plants in this area and some more exotic things. So there's lots of native poppies. There's also, these are all oriental poppies. There's English roses, there's hybrid roses. This is a prunus, a European plum. We have Rosa canea, which is a native rose. And we also have a bit of a Mediterranean theme inadvertently going on here with plants like Carokia, Erysimum, Eryngium, the Nigellas. So still under development, will improve year upon year, but this was achieved only through donations and through the hard work of myself and my small army of volunteers. So we're very proud of what we've achieved here, and it will only get better year upon year. Thank you.